Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we are going to be looking at the topic of other people's opinions. Before you go ahead and say I don't care about what people think of me, calm down. Let us make this more clearer. Everyone wants people to perceive them in a good light, whether you agree with me or not. Deep down, there is a part of you that wants people who matter to you to see you in a good light, to understand your intent. Yes, you may not actually care what a few strangers think about you, but definitely there are a majority of people that you would want to perceive you as a good person or to see you in a good light. So at the end of the day, we all love people to have a positive opinion of us. We want people to see us in a certain way. But the question is, at what point does this become counterproductive? At what point does it become harmful? The problem comes up when we become very obsessive to be perceived a certain way, when we think of what people think about us first before we do new things or carry out with our goals. That is when it becomes harmful. It is not a bad thing for people to speak well of you, but when it becomes a burden that you can't do certain things, or you even start to self-sabotage or to people please just to ensure that people have positive things to say about you, then that is when it becomes very important for you to learn how to not let other people's opinion control your actions. Today I'm going to be sharing 4 tips or 5 that helped me care less about what people think, because honestly I am not sharing this from like other people's experiences or as a motivational speaker or anything. This is from my real life experience. For a long time I cared a lot about what people think. I cared so much, like before I put out a post. And yeah, there is a part of being emotionally sensitive, but that's not what I'm talking about. I mean, I was very much interested about how people perceive me. And when I talk about people, I don't even mean only the people that are close to me. I mean both internet strangers, like, acquaintances, people whose opinions shouldn't even matter so much. I gave them that power to judge me, and probably they weren't judging me, but in my head I gave them so much power. But with time I started learning how to take more control of the opinions that I have of myself and place me above what people think of me per time. So I'm going to be sharing 4 or 5 ways that I was able to do this. The very first one is to get clear on your own values. The problem with people's opinions of you is not that they have an opinion of you, but the problem is that you have allowed the opinions they have of you to supersede the opinion you have about your own self and the opinion God has of you. No matter what people think about you, nobody knows you better than you know yourself. You should be able to sit with yourself and know your values, know the things you really value, the things that matter to you, understand the perspective of what God wants from you at a particular time. Where is God's heart towards you? What you're doing currently, is God proud of it? Are you proud of it? Once what you're doing is coming from a personal value system that is already solid, you have a strong identity about what you're doing, then people's opinion comes second. People's opinion shouldn't supersede your own opinion of yourself. If people see you as, let's say a few random strangers on the internet see you as a mean person, but inside of you, you know fully well that you're a very kind person. Probably people see you as mean because you set certain boundaries. Because you know your own values and you understand that what you're doing at that time is only just boundaries that you've set. It's not because you're mean. You're kind to people, but you also understand the place of boundaries. When you have your own values, people's opinion of you will not begin to, tear your parts or be the determinant of what you do. So let's say it's a goal you've set, or maybe you want to start content creation, for instance. Like me, I am becoming very serious with content creation in 2025. Because I have set this goal, I also understand the value. I understand why I am doing these videos. I understand the message that I'm passing across to people. I am very confident in this goal, even though I am not exactly sure how consistent I'm going to be, but I understand why I am doing it. What people think about the content I've started creating does not matter more than the value that I've placed on this content creation journey that I've started. Second tip, there is something called the spotlight effect. Because you're the one living your life, sometimes we overestimate how much people really think about us. So the very second tip you should know is that people are not thinking about you as much as you think. At least you've sat through a lot of viral moments on the internet. You've sat through a lot of dragging moments for certain people on the internet. You see how quick people move on to the next thing, the next news, the next gist. So a lot of people are concerned with their own lives. They are living their lives, and life is busy. And while it might look like they throw you a few glances from time to time, they are not really dwelling on your life. They are not dwelling on the things going on with you. So if you want to do something and the reason you're not doing it is because you're very concerned about how people would perceive you. I remember when I wanted to pivot from tech, like from front-end web development to community management, I had an interesting conversation. In fact, it was one of the conversations that shaped my career with Ada, the founder of She Code Africa. And one of the things I told her was that I have pivoted a lot of times because I was still trying to get my feet on the path that I was on. But I didn't want to pivot one more time and make it look like I was confused. And she told me that who is going to say I'm confused? I am the one who thinks people are really watching me. I know people are watching me, but I'm the one who has placed so much spotlight on myself, thinking that people are really watching that I'm moving from career path to career path. Like at the end of the day, that the end is what justifies the means. Even if there are a few people that make side comments and say, oh, you're moving around too much, why can't you settle on a particular path? Once they say it, that is all. They may not even remember your stuff or your story until you know what you're looking for. When you get to the career path that tickles your fancy and you stay there, you become something there, people would celebrate you. A lot of people will not even remember that you were pivoting a lot of times at some point unless you bring up that topic again. So the point here is that a lot of time people are not thinking about you as much as you think they are. So remove that pressure from yourself. The third thing you have to know is that you can't please everyone. You can be the most kind, hardworking, intelligent person, name it, and people will always have an opinion of you. You can't be everybody's sweetheart. I used to hear it several times when people say you're not ice cream, and that is true. Everybody cannot like you. Even ice cream, a lot of people don't like ice cream. So no matter how good, how kind, how decent, how well-mannered you are, there are a lot of people that will never really like you, and that is absolutely okay. Your message, your life, your journey is going to resonate with some people, and it's not also going to resonate with a lot of other people. So the most important thing for you to do is to just continue. Speak to those few who are eager to listen to your message. The world does not end because someone disapproves of you. As long as you are living according to the values, that's why we have to talk about values first, because at the end of the day, you have to have values that guide you, values that are paramount to you, things that are like sacrosanct for you. And once you figure that out, you understand that not everybody is going to like you, not everybody is going to resonate with you. Some people are still going to find problems with whatever you do, no matter how you do it. And then you stick to staying true to yourself. If at all you want to please anyone, then let it be people who really matter to you. Your family, your friends, people whose opinions are always going to be, marinated with love and care. It's not to bring you down, but positive feedback or helpful feedback, even if it's negative, but at least feedback that are geared towards helping you become a better person. Those are the people whose opinions should matter to you, and they are the ones worth listening to. Number 4, start doing things that scare you, and start small. It doesn't have to be big. For instance, if you're currently struggling with people's opinion of you, you've not fully broken out of it, you may not directly jump into something huge that probably brings a lot of criticisms or have a lot of eyes on you. You can start with small steps, do things, and gradually as you start small, let me still use content creation for instance, right? You can start with a platform where you don't have a lot of people. YouTube, for instance, is a more closed platform with I won't call it closed per se, but you get what I mean. It is not particularly a social media platform like that. So assuming you're struggling with people's opinion of you when it comes to content creation, YouTube could be a soft landing for you. Even the kind of audience that YouTube has is a lot more mature, and you can start from that kind of platform and then move on to bigger platform where you have more eyes looking at your content. And the reason it's also good to start small is that eventually you're going to get it. Right? After you start small, you start taking those baby steps, you eventually get to the point where you start to realize that people's disapproval of you is not the end of the world, right? Life goes on. life goes on, as long as you're living true to yourself, people are always going to disapprove of you, but there are also going to be a lot of people who like what you do. And then you ensure that the positive comments, the people who are positive about what you do, take precedence. It takes a while to learn this, because a lot of times the way the human mind is wired, if you put out a content, for instance, and it has 100 comments and there are just 2 negative comments, a lot of times your mind will fixate on those 2 negative opinions of you, looking away from the 98 positive ones, right? Or the 98 constructive ones, and then you're just fixated on the 2. But with time, you will start learning how to create certain boundaries with the things you do, putting away the naysayers and focusing on the people who really fancies and resonates with your journey. Number 5, it's a bonus tip, is to also judge people less. I learned this tip from reading Tony Ton's book, Take Notes, and it's a very important topic to also mention in this particular context, because a lot of times, even the Bible says that the measure with which you judge others is also how you're going to be judged. So judge people less. A lot of times when you're someone who is very judgmental, when you see people do things, you judge them. When people pivot from career to career, you judge them. People wear certain outfits, you judge them. When you're someone who judge people a lot, you're always going to be thinking in your heart that people judge you just the same way you judge others. So when you're someone who is more carefree, someone who live and let people live, who is not always judging people for every single thing that they do, your mind is going to be conditioned that people are not judging you as much as that, right? So it's also something you have to do for the sake of other people as well. Judge less, and you're probably going to feel a lot less judged. Even though people are not going to be judging you, but as long as you're judging people a lot, you always think that people are judging you the same way you're judging others. To wrap up this video, remember that your life is yours to live. Don't let other people's opinions or thoughts about the things you do be so much stronger than the voice in your own heart and what you know about yourself and the value and belief systems that you have. Go reach your full potential, and the world, of course, is always going to cheer you on. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please leave your comments in the comment section and subscribe to this channel. See you in my next one.